Hello, am I in focus? Is this working? Is it too bright? No, I think we're okay. Hi, I'm Jess, I'm 23 and I'm a third year returner with Camp America. I've spent the last 3 summers at Trails End, so I feel like I'm on my way around a summer camp, not gonna lie. I just want to preface this video by saying everything I'm talking about is from my personal experience. Obviously every camp is different, sleepaway camps are very different to day camps, and also special needs camps and religious camps, so this isn't going to be applicable to every camp. Who is this? It's my dog. You coming up? You coming to say hello? Come on. Hey. Are you going to sit and watch as well? No, he's after my chocolate. Look at him there. He's so good. He's the best boy. Back to the video. I might steal some chocolate actually. So I've received a lot of questions on TikTok asking about my camp experience and just asking general questions about camp. So I thought, why not answer them in a YouTube video rather than 50,000 TikTok videos? So one of the main questions that I get asked is, what's the phone policy like at camp? So I made a few videos answering this question, but I feel like I've not been able to go into it in depth as much as I'd like to. So obviously, like I said before, every camp is different and every camp has their own rules and regulations surrounding the phone policy. But some parts of this will apply to the majority of camps. You just got to remember you're working with children, so there's still got to be safeguarding measures in place, not to be too heavy, not to make it all dramatic, but it is a job and the kids, and you don't want to get into any trouble, do you know what I mean? So at my camp, the first week we get given a lockbox. I'll show it here. This is where you lock your phone away, any valuables like your passport, bank cards, wallet, anything like that. There's a little charging port in there as well, so you can plug your phone in, charge it up all day, all night, so when it's charged when you need it. You're also given a key to lock the lockbox to make sure that nobody else can access this. So during the day when you're on duty, you'll lock your phone away. You won't have it on your person unless you're a group leader or higher staff or anything like that. But if you're a general counsellor or a specialist, you don't tend to have your phone with you while you're doing the activities. This is just so that you can focus on your job and spend time with the kids rather than being distracted by notifications and Instagram and all stuff like that. I know nowadays phones are glued to our hands. We are addicted to our phones, but honestly, the transition between going from being on your phone every day to not having it isn't that hard. You're spending the majority of the day with the kids and with your friends that you don't actually feel the need to go on it. And then by the time phone time comes around, most of the time people don't really want to go on it. You spend the majority of your off periods talking with your friends. Don't get me wrong, you'll want to FaceTime your family, your partners, anyone like that, your friends. But I feel like if you designate a certain amount of time for them, the rest of the period off, you're just like, I just want to chat, I want to gossip, I want to get up to date on what happened at the pub last night or what happened on the Walmart trip. Do you know what I mean? People seem to think that they're going to get no time to go on their phones, which is completely false. You get more than enough time. Obviously, it depends on whether you're on duty or off duty. It depends what camp you go to, because some camps will be like a day camp. You'll be with the kids during the day, but of an evening past 7 o'clock, you're free to do whatever you want, go on your phone for however long. You don't have to do any overnight shifts, so you have more time to be on your phone and be with your friends. At my camp, we have 17, I think it is, on duties per season. So 17 out of the 52 days, I would be in the bunk of an evening with the kids, looking after them. This could be with another co-counsellor or this could be on my own, but you decide what days you want to do at the start of the summer and you get a rota, so it works out pretty well. So on these on-duty days, you might get less time than an off-duty day. You do tend to spend your time a little bit more carefully when you're on duty. I found that dedicating 2 or 3 days a week to FaceTiming family and friends works pretty well. The rest of the time, I don't really want to go on my phone. Might post an Instagram or a TikTok here and there. The majority of the time, I want to spend it with my friends. I want to go to the lake on my period off and go for a swim, or I want to go paddleboarding, or I want to write in my diary or read a book. Don't get me wrong, we all feel homesick. So if you do, you get more than enough time to speak to your parents or your friends. But in reality, you probably won't want to be on your phone that much. Another question I always get asked is, what do the under 21s do if they can't go to the bar? So everyone seems to be concerned about drinking with Camp America. Obviously, you've got to be over 21 to drink legally in the States, and a lot of camps will stick to this rule. Each camp is different. Not every camp is going to be very strict on it, but my camp personally is very, very strict on the drinking. If you're seen to be smoking, taking drugs, anything like that, or drinking under 21, it's an instant dismissal. For my first summer, I was 20, obviously couldn't legally drink. Not everything is about drinking as well, you've got to remember. I understand that the UK has such a huge drinking culture, and the majority of people doing Camp America are in university and have been living in that environment the past however long. But there's more to life than drinking. Oh my gosh, I'm about to die. I have to move you closer so I can charge it. There's so much more to building friendships than drinking. The thing that I love the most about Camp America is the innocence that comes with it. So during my first summer, I was 20. The majority of my friends were 20 as well. We couldn't go anywhere near a bar. One, because we didn't have a car to get there. And two, we were obviously under 21 and we did not want to get sacked. Camp would obviously organise events. So we went bowling one night. I think some people went to a cinema. They organised parties at the property, which is like this house with a lake on the Trails End property. They did discos and DJ nights and basketball matches. They did so many different things, but I'm not very sporty, which is crazy because why would you apply to work at a sports camp if you're not sporty? I didn't know that. Obviously, I didn't research enough. But I'm not the sportiest person, and the majority of my friends weren't either. We made our little group and thought, hey, let's do something other than sports because that's super boring and super lame to us. So most nights we would find a cute little quiet spot, like out on the lake or in the side dining hall in the dining room. So we would sit there with a deck of cards, or we'd get our phones because you're allowed them. You're not like completely banned from using them. We would get our phones and we would play Psych or Heads Up or Paranoia, which doesn't even require a phone. We made so many cute little games up and we played so many games and just spent the night talking and getting to know each other. I feel like I formed the deepest relationships my first summer because there was no alcohol, there was no drinking. It was just such a nice change of scenery from everything back home. So yeah, if you're worried about not having anything to do when you're under 21, don't panic. There's going to be so many people that aren't 21 that are going to be in the same situation as you. Camp does not neglect under 21s. You've got to remember that you are an employee and they want to keep their employees happy. There'll be measures in place and activities that they'll organise for you to have fun and not just be bored on your evenings off. But if you're an overthinker and you like to have a plan in advance, I would email your camp director or whoever from your summer camp, a returner, anybody, and just say, hey, are there any activities for under 21s? I'm just concerned that I'm not 21, I won't be able to drink, I'm not sure what there will be for me to do. The next question is actually one that I've never answered before online. I feel like this is something that's completely overlooked when you go to camp, and it's not spoken about enough, and it's burnout. So obviously when you're working in such a highly social environment around so many people for 16 hours a day you can be working for, and then when you do get your period off, you're still with other people, it can be really, really easy to feel burnt out and tired and just really frustrated. And this totally happens at camp. I like to think of myself as a social person. Obviously, I wouldn't participate in Camp America if I wasn't social and I didn't enjoy people's company, but I do like my alone time. This is why I'd highly suggest bringing something like a book or a diary to camp. This way, you're obviously not going to be on your phone all the time. You're not going to be allowed it all the time. You're not going to be allowed it in certain areas of camp, but you still want a way to keep yourself entertained. So on one of my periods off, if I don't fancy going on my phone, I don't want to FaceTime anyone, and I just want some time to myself. I've had a rough day. The kids have been doing my head in because the children, like, they're gonna wind you up. They're gonna annoy you. The kids. It's obviously all part of the job, but some days I'm just like, man, I need 5 minutes to myself. I will take myself down to the lake and I'll get my little book and I'll put my hat on and my sunnies and I'll lizard out in the sun and read my book for an hour. Or I'll write in my diary on my bed. You've got to remember that you're not always going to be on the ball. You're not always going to be 100%. You can't always be 100 miles an hour or be the best counsellor or be the most fun counsellor. You're going to have your down days and you need to allow yourself some time to be down and to be annoyed and to be upset. It's completely normal. Camp is such an overwhelming environment and such an overwhelming experience altogether that it's so easy to get caught up and to feel burnout. So by allowing yourself some time on your own, I feel like it really balances it out. When I'm feeling burnt out, I'll also obviously ring my parents, ring my partner, ring my friends from home, which is pretty rare. Sorry guys, I just don't really, I neglect my friendships at home when I'm at camp, not gonna lie. Sorry guys, they won't be watching this. Or I'll go and find my camp bestie, Ellie, and I'll go, girl, I need to vent, I need to have a chat. This person's wound me up today, or this situation's wound me up. Sometimes you just need a good vent and you need to take that weight off your shoulders. Ranting, venting, talking, gossiping is the best way to do that. Obviously, I'm not encouraging gossiping, but everyone loves a little gossip. You can't deny that. So the next question, I actually don't know what the next question is. I have a little note up on my phone because I did record this a couple of days ago and it sucked. So I was like, I'm gonna sit down and re-record it in a new location. Somebody said in one of my comments on TikTok, I want to go to camp, but I'm kind of shy. I'm scared everyone will already know each other, except for a few newbies. Any tips on this? Great question. Great question. So applying for Camp America on your own is so daunting. Obviously, you'll go into this foreign country, 3,000 miles away from home, completely by yourself. A lot of people that do Camp America are like freshly 18, 19, 20, still fairly young and haven't done much solo traveling before. A lot of people don't like to class Camp America as solo traveling, but I definitely think it is. Just because you're not traveling around to different countries doesn't take away from the fact that you're still traveling to a foreign country on your own. You're traveling so far away, you're packing up your whole life for 3 months, away from your parents, away from your friends, away from your family, and moving to this foreign country knowing nobody. So my first summer, I didn't know anybody. I applied for camp completely on my own and I wanted to make it a whole new experience and push myself outside of my comfort zone, like a lot of people do. But I was still a little bit worried that I was going to get there and know nobody. So the first thing that I did was I went onto the Camp America official Facebook page. I'll link it here. And somebody had typed into the group, hey, I'm flying on this date, and posted a picture of their flight details. And a lot of people in the comments were also saying, oh, I'm flying this date too. So I was like, let's see if anybody's posted the same flight that I have. And lo and behold, somebody did. And quite a lot of these people were from Trails End, the camp that I was going to as well. So from there, we made a group chat. I ended up meeting up with this one guy called Harry, and he didn't live too far away from me. We met up in Manchester beforehand with another girl and went to a Camp America fair where they answered just a few questions. We all hit it off straight away, and me and Harry decided it'd be so much cheaper to travel down to London together, book a hotel the night before and fly out together, so at least we're not flying on our own. Quite a lot of the people that were in the group chat were obviously on the same flight, so we all got talking and we all met up in the airport, and that's where I met my best friend, Ellie. Crazy. This is coming up to 3 years ago and me and Ellie are still so close. She's the bestest friend I've ever made in my whole entire life. She is an angel, an absolute angel. So after we all met in the airport and all flew to America together, we all got put on a bus. And this bus was going to take us to 2 camps, Trails End and Chestnut Lake. These are both sister camps. My camp, obviously Trails End, and a lot of the people that were on the bus were also going to Chestnut Lake. I got talking to a few people from Chestnut, but obviously I still made quite a few friends from Trails End. The bus was like 2.5 hours, so we were on there for quite a while. And by the time we got to camp, it was dinner time. So when we got there, everyone had finished eating and were waving us off the bus, saying hi. I think if I hadn't have known anyone beforehand, I would have been so scared. Don't get me wrong, I was already petrified when I did step off the bus and I knew people. But getting off the bus and knowing that I'd met a few people prior and their bus had arrived a little bit earlier was so relieving. When I did go to get my food, I think I had a hot dog and a burger, typical American food. Quite a lot of my friends were already sat down at the table and I was like, hey guys, let me sit with you. So it was a little bit less daunting and it eased me into the situation a lot more than it would have done if I hadn't have spoken to people beforehand in a group chat. My camera died. We're losing daylight, I'm so sorry. It's quite dark now. It's 22:08 at night and I need to hurry up. I've just eaten my tea. Oh, I'm feeling so full. Another thing is TikTok. I feel like TikTok is the best way to get to know people before camp. It wasn't really a thing when I started my first summer. I feel like that's what made my account and a lot of third year creators accounts blow up so much. There was only like 2 Camp America TikTokers. There weren't many. And people were slowly transitioning from YouTube over to TikTok. Nowadays you can search a camp and you'll find a lot of people that have been to your camp before as returners and as newbies. So this is a great way to get to know people before you do get to camp. I would not worry about getting to camp and not knowing anyone. You're only going to meet a few people before camp or talk to a few people. At my camp, there's hundreds of people. I think the staff toll is like 300, which is insane. And you're not going to meet everybody over text or over FaceTime or anything like that. You just got to remember that the first day is always the hardest. It's the first introductions everybody's in the same boat, everyone's feeling exactly the same, and a lot of the returners will know exactly how you felt because they were there once. They were once in that boat, and nobody should make you feel unincluded or uninvolved, because everybody goes to Camp America with the same intentions: to make friends, to have fun, and to have the best summer ever. So if that is something that you're really worried about, don't panic, please. It's going to seem really daunting at first, and you're going to be absolutely petrified getting off the bus, but you're going to make lifelong friends, and you're going to have the best time of your life. I wouldn't have done it for 3 summers, going on to 4, if I didn't absolutely love it. All I talk about is camp, all I think about is camp. My friends are fed up of me talking about camp. If I bring camp up in front of my friends, they're like, wow, it only took you 2 hours to talk about camp. Crazy. That's how obsessed with camp I am. So don't worry. You wouldn't have signed up to Camp America, and you wouldn't have been placed if you weren't capable of doing the job. You're going to have the best summer ever, and I'm so excited to see how everyone's summer gets on. I'm so excited to see everyone's videos. I hope I answered these questions fluently enough. I hope this helped somebody out at least a little bit, because I know these are questions that I would have been really worried about when I first started camp. If anyone has any more questions or queries, or just wants to have a little chat about camp, feel free to comment down below or to message me on TikTok or Instagram. I'll link them here. I'm so excited to see what everyone gets up to, and have the best summer ever. Bye! This was going to be a packing video, but the amount of clothes that I have is ridiculous. It's actually quite disgusting. Before I end this video, I think I'm actually going to show you guys how much stuff I actually have. Keep in mind that the majority of my stuff is still in America. So I've got, oh my gosh, this is a tip, by the way. This is the stuff that I was supposed to hide. I have these 3 drawers full of this here. 2, that was my shoes, by the way. And then my wardrobe as well. Oh, damn. Up there is camp stuff, that's camp stuff, and that is camp stuff. That's all my accessories. I'm not gonna even get into that. I've got so much stuff, this is ridiculous. Don't ask me for a packing video, please. Please, I can't do it. I've got so much stuff, I can't bring myself to do it. Anyway, goodbye.